Hello, wonderful viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today in my backyard again. It's a beautiful day here in Minnesota. I'm kind of jazzed. I went to Elizabeth Warren's, well, it really was more of a campaign rally last night than town hall. She had over 12,000 people apparently. So that was wonderful. So I'm kind of jazzed about that. But today, okay, down to Hades we go. Talking to Epstein. Okay. So, there's more about his death now. He apparently had signed a new will 2 days ahead of time. And he's worth over $500 million. But, so that's a new thing. Now, I have to, with Epstein, this has been a case that really has been a lesson in trusting that I'm hearing him, because I was really starting to doubt with so many people thinking it was murder. And essentially, it kind of was. I think this is where the gray area comes in, right? Because I do think he was urged to do this. And I do think he felt like if he didn't, somebody else would. So, and he was given the opportunity. Some things were put in line. But I do want to learn more about that. But yes, I kept on asking him, was it murder? And he kept saying, no, I suicided. I could see him. Yes, I could see him. And in fact, he did tell me that he came off the top bunk and he came with such force on the front that he broke that one bone behind the Adam's apple. So yeah, it was a suicide. But there are still plenty of fishy things about this, right? Okay, so if somebody kind of urged him, if somebody kind of got him the message that he should do this, or somebody else would, who did that? And what other kind of shadiness was going on there? So let's ask about that. Okay, so Epstein, I'm asking you again, and Epstein is still wandering around, right? Yeah. But looking a little more, yeah, he scoffs at me. Looking a little bit more at, yes, at the light, looking a little more at that and thinking he maybe should. But he scoffs at me as I say this, and he says, no, not yet, no, 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 or no, never. So he's still in this really rebellious place. So I don't know. But I do see him wondering. And Epstein, I would definitely recommend you go. Okay. In any case, we're asking about your death. So we have the Four of Cups and the Ace of Wands. So, yeah, it was news he didn't want. Yeah, this is exactly what I got. He didn't want to necessarily have to kill himself. He didn't. But he got the message. And also, he was thinking about the sources of emotional satisfaction in his life right now, messages he'd gotten recently, and they were not pleasing to him, of course. That as he looked at his future, he just saw no other way. So there was all that. But then there's a message that came in also. You know what? I'm seeing it delivered by a fellow prisoner. I'm seeing it delivered by a fellow prisoner who was paid to do that. Or, you do this favor for me, it's sort of like messages do get delivered in prison, you guys. There are gangs, there are still biker gangs. There are gangs who have certain networks within prisons even. Messages do get delivered. So a message got delivered, and it was from outside. And the opportunity, there was something shady in the opportunity. I feel like, okay, so with the guards, it wasn't that, and other guides are helping me with this right now, because Epstein wasn't sure how it happened exactly either. So it wasn't that, the guards went to sleep to be complicit in this. It was that was their usual habit. And somebody knew that. higher up in the prison. I mean, they could look at the cameras. Somebody who had access to the camera footage knew that these guards typically did not check. In fact, reliably did not check. So those guards were pressured to put in another shift or made sure they were put on. What about yeah, and it was somebody, the warden, had been given the message too that the cellmate should be gone. But I think was given the message based upon, oh, it was a little shady to the warden too, but sort of Epstein's attorneys have demanded this, and so it's going to happen. You know, sort of not like the warden would have to know exactly why this was happening or was part of the plan or anything. Just got the message. And yeah, Epstein's attorneys were fighting for him to be off of suicide watch, and they would have been constantly putting pressure on to have Epstein's wishes followed in prison. But I don't think it was necessarily Epstein who said he wanted to be in the cell by himself. Well, maybe it was. No, maybe it was. Maybe it was. Somebody else wanted him in the cell by himself. He saw the dots being connected before he did it, that he was actually getting some assistance in this. So that's what I'm thinking going on. So who was it? Gosh, I just see some shadowy figures. Yeah, figures. I don't know the name of these people. I see a man, yeah, and he's dressed in dark, and he's kind of portly, and he's dark hair, but maybe salt and pepper a little bit. He looks really mafia. I mean, he looks stereotypically, I shouldn't even say that, but stereotypically like East Coast mafia would look. And I apologize to everybody of Italian or Sicilian descent. I don't know. I don't know much about, you know, the mob families over there. But he looks like he could fit the bill for that old stereotype. Yeah. Tell me about him, Spirit. Money. Oh, generational money. This was somebody who, okay, involved in the generational money that I see being powerful in the U.S. Yes, there are actually mafia families who are tied to some of these other far-right, Republican, multi-generational billionaires. Whoa. Yeah, well, why would I be surprised? They're willing to play with Trump. Why wouldn't they be willing to play with mafia? And there's ties to the Russian mafia, too. There are all these ties, you guys. Not necessarily the same system, but interconnected systems that share some goals in common, that will work together. Wow. Okay. And right, we have the Two of Cups there, which is a lot of times the symbol for a pact or agreement, like from the family, you know, this larger group of people that, you know, seem to have this shared ideology, that the very powerful are there because they've been chosen by God to be there, so we need to increase their power. And, you know, this is crazy twisting of Christianity. Although I think a lot of them aren't Christians at all. I mean, aren't even halfway, you know. Yeah, so they're involved in that, and it's the same old thing. This is a pattern that has been going on. Okay, that's really interesting. Gosh. So, Spirit, whatever. Oh, there was another question, too, I wanted to ask. Well, let's first say, whatever comes of this thing, and does more information come out? I get that Epstein is not at all interested in more information coming out. from the other side, he's not at all interested in that. It's not like he's got some burning desire to see someone come to justice. He No, he was part and parcel of this. He wanted to go to, no. Mm-mm. He just feels like he got himself in a situation where he could no longer be protected, and he lived by those rules, so he was dying by those rules. You know, that kind of thing. So no, that's not, he doesn't have he's not powerful on the other side anyways, because he hasn't yet sat for his life review. And, you know, not a terribly powerful soul at this point anyway. So, does any more come of this? Do we learn any more about Epstein's death? There are still deep mysteries to be plumbed. Okay. Let's see, we have the Sword of Truth. It's just waiting. We have the Seven of Swords. Hang on. I had to go turn off the air conditioner. It's so very loud out here. All right. Look at this. That's right. Deep mysteries. The Sword of Truth is rattling there. It wants to come out. It wants someone to grab it. But we have the Seven of Swords. A lot of sneakiness. Holy moly, there's a lot there, you guys, that could come out. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I just pulled the 10 of Cups reversed. So that means that, remember the family, this is the family card, is in my video, The Family, Mind Blown, that movie, docu-series on Netflix now. Yes. This is reversed. So the family is going down. Well, I don't want to say it that big. You know what I mean? There will still be powerful families there that have a lot of power. But this is all coming out. It's being exposed. They don't have the power in the coming years. They don't have the power in the coming months that they did. Oh, the Lover's card. Oh, now, and this is not, the deck is upright. The Lover's card reversed. Who you know, the connections, you know, this person's in bed with that person, and this person's in bed, and not literally, figuratively, who knows, but, you know, yeah, that's not going to protect them anymore, so we may see more things coming out. There's plenty there. I'm hearing even if, you know, 5% of it came out, it would be just earth-shattering. Okay, so there's plenty there. That's interesting. We'll watch for that. Now, also, are there going to be other people prosecuted? Now, Epstein's gone. He cannot give testimony against anybody. But a lot was taken out of his Upper West Side apartment, and some stuff that, you know, you would think he would have had the sense to destroy, stuff that implicated him, pictures, underage girls, all kinds of things like that. Tons of them. I mean, cataloged like a sex offender does. Let's see, what else? Is there anything about any of the other men there, though? Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, wait a minute. I shuffled. But now I'm getting the family. We're getting the same cards. The High Priestess, the Ace of Swords. Okay. There is information about other men there. Okay, but then these are upright this time. I pulled them. And obviously I didn't shuffle well enough. I picked 3. But then again, there's probably a reason I picked those 3, right? So let's see. Let's see. Do other men get implicated and prosecuted? Well, we're going to find out some things, you know, not too far from now. This is really being pulled forward, right? And we have, yes, we have the King of Coins, and we have the Completion card. The Sun, bright light of the sun, and the Ten of Swords, completion. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about this spread, you guys. because I am not so sure if this means that, yes, somebody with a lot of money, bright light of the sun's going to show on it, yes, somebody's going to be exposed, or if it means a premature end to the investigation. Certainly some things being said, some scandal, but we already have that with Prince Andrew. Will other men be implicated in this? Well, it's okay. It's underway. It's underway. We have the page of rods, so we have an investigation happening. But we also have some manipulation here with the Knight of Cups, trying to put their best foot forward. All of that too. So I am not so sure, you guys. Definitely things will be said. Definitely more will come out and be in the media about certain men. Yes. But whether there will be legal consequences or civil consequences, that I can't say. There will be talk with that Ten of Swords. Will there be legal consequences, meaning criminal consequences, for any of these other men? Ooh, there will be investigation. Four of Wands, which a lot of times, yeah, okay, the house, yeah, it's part of the house investigations. There may be a whistleblower. There may be somebody who gives inside information about this. So it's not a done deal, you guys. It's not off the table. I get the feeling it's going to be harder to actually bring anything to criminal prosecution, but it's not off the table, and they're investigating. Definitely more will come out in the media about things that have gone on, and not just the men that we've already heard talked about, but different men. So more will come out. All right. Well, okay. So I thank you all for holding our government accountable. I thank you all for speaking out. Thank you so much for joining me in this. Bye-bye.